Okay, 下午好啊。Okay, so today we are going to wait. Sorry. Okay, today we are going to start with the first class, right? So you saw the agenda, right? I paste it on the chat there. Right, as far as I know, this class we have altogether 54 students. Let me check the latest one. Latest, how many are there? This is among the largest class that I have ever taken for this course. Programming elective 2, 3. So meaning you have a few elective 2, right? So this is a number 3 elective for you, right? So you know that this subject I've already posted on Moodle, the course plan on Moodle. Let me share the screen first. All right, this is the course, 54 students on Moodle. Right, if you have seen the Moodle, right? So the enrollment key, I've enrolled you, right? So in Moodle, I've done for every student except one. If I can't remember who is that I couldn't find the name and the ID in the Moodle. So any one of you still haven't been able to access Moodle? 还有谁上不到 Moodle 这个 subject 的 page? If you go to this is another one, the name is the same, but the one is I accidentally put as this name, but this is the actual one, right? If you go to the home page of the course on Moodle, wait, dashboard. For my dashboard, so this Moodle, I didn't put any picture this semester, right? I purposely don't want to put picture, right? So that we don't, I don't confuse you, right? I don't confuse you with, right? With right? So I purposely don't put the image there so that I don't confuse you, right? I don't want you to go to another similar subject, right? The subject SWE embedded programming has been offered since 2020 September. I've taught this subject. This is for the fourth time, the same subject, fourth time. So I don't want you to go anywhere. There is wrong place. So you come here, SWE401 embedded programming 2022-04. This one my name. So I'm Dr. Simon Lau. Simon Lau, you call me Simon. So 54 of you will be with me this semester. Hopefully no one will withdraw and quit the subject halfway through the semester, right? So administrative today, first class, I want us to settle the administrative matter and introduce you to the subject and also the assessment, the subject assessment. Some of you already know the subject doesn't have final exam, right? The final exam there is no final exam. So those who don't like final exam, this semester you just need to complete a big project, mobile app development project. And then if you do it successfully, you should be able to pass. So for this subject, how come? Okay, for this subject, the attendance is automatic. I will get your attendance from Teams, right? However, one thing, some of you normally don't attend class sometimes, or you have some matter that you have to attend to, you cannot come to class. So I allow you to sign only when, there's a link here on Moodle. I don't ask you to sign every week. You just need to sign if you cannot attend the live class, which is on every Monday 3 to 6. Right? If there is nothing happen, then we will go on with class every Monday 3 to 6, 3 hours. Right? Every Monday 3 to 6, 3 hours. And that 3 hours, right? If 3 to 6, if you can attend the live class, then the attendance is taken already. I'll use the team's attendance as your attendance. But if you never attend the class and then you study later, you access the video, you watch the video, you read the slide, you do the project later. For that particular week, please come to this form. Right? Please come to this form to sign. Right? Week 1 to week 15 offline study attendance. Huh? So I only ask you to take attendance week 1 to week 15. Right? Either one, if you never attend the weekly class, then you can sign here. So that I can capture your attendance still. I can mark you as attended the class. If you attend the class, then no need to sign. No need to sign. So this is one thing I want you. I don't want you to trouble every week sign. So the sign of the attendance only if 只有你不能上课你才 sign. 你自己的时间 your offline class, you do it, you learn it self-learning for that class, you sign. Okay, leave. Okay, this one is the same, I think. It's the same. I think I will hide this one. It's the same. Sorry. So I think this one is redundant. So I just remove this one. Remove. All right, the second one is not redundant. Okay, so this one is a team assignment member registration, which I'm going to brief you later. And this is the course plan. Not the course plan, but I'll come use a slide to brief you on the course. Right, so the course plan you just is for your own reference, but this is not cast in the stone. Right, so the date I will inform you later. The important date for submission of assignment. So team assignment, team member registration. If you have already know the member, so the issue now is whether you want to be in 2 or 3 in a group. So this one we'll discuss. I will let you know my thinking and then my condition for you to be in a 3 in a team. Right, so later on we'll discuss about this. Okay, so any issue on Moodle so far? The slides are there already. Right, the slides and then the reference material. Okay, so we are going to adopt Java and Kotlin, Java or Kotlin. So Java or Kotlin. So yeah, reference books for that. And then Android developer slides from Google, slide deck for advanced topic and also for fundamental topics. You can get all of them here. I already put up there. Assignment question, project question is here. I will discuss with you later. Practical, right? These are the practical source code. Last semester source code is here. Right? All the source code I shared with you last semester. So some of the projects are similar. Some project I'll add new project, change the project, but some project is actually the same. So you can get a source code from here. Right, so this is the matter, the main matter I want to brief you on, right, for this semester. Any question? Any questions for this? Okay, if no question, I hope you can respond to me. If later on, if you have something, then you can still message me, WhatsApp me. So my contact, let us start the class first. No question for now. Okay, so first of all, before we start, I would like to get some idea from you. Are you all familiar with Android already? I heard from your senior batch that some of you have taken Android before in another subject. You have done some Android before. So anyone have done Android here in the class, 54 of you? Okay, why there's a reputation, I don't know. So same subject, but offer it as another subject. This is elective. No, they cheated me. It means what? It means that actually the students didn't have any Android before. Okay, so let me ask you, assuming all of you are just beginner for Android, anyone is familiar with Java or first time with, okay, maybe ask it this way. Anyone is a total beginner on Java? Total beginner. You have never done Java before. One student. Who else? If you are totally beginner, Java is alien to you. Java 是新的一个 language， 你没有动过，没有写过。New to Android, Java? What about Java in another subject? Java can be used for server side, for web. So like, have you done Java for web? Anyone Java before? Only two new. Does it mean the rest are not new? We had a course on that Java, right? You know some Java language. Okay, good. Uh, some of you have Java, some of you totally new is okay. Because there are two language for Kotlin. Let me share the screen. Two language for Kotlin, right? So there are actually, sorry, two language for Android. One is Java, one is Kotlin. Both can be used, and the newer one is Kotlin, right? But in just a few weeks, I don't have the luxury of time to expose you to both languages, to teach you from A to Z for both languages. No way, no time. So just now I see some beginners for Java. Many are actually with some Java knowledge because some of you have taken some other subjects in Java. Okay, so my idea here is I'll teach you, yeah, not new to you. So I'll teach you Kotlin. Everyone, right? Almost everyone is new to Kotlin, right? Have you heard about Kotlin? Java, some of you are familiar, right? But Kotlin, anyone is familiar with Kotlin? I don't think anyone is familiar with Kotlin, right? Is Kotlin a totally new language to you? Okay, good. Right? New Kotlin, new to Kotlin. Okay, let me put it this way. If you are new to both, new to Java, new to Kotlin, I advise you to pick up Kotlin from this subject. Java, you learn it in another subject or you learn self-learn, right? Because I cannot teach both. I have to choose one to adopt for the project, right? So if you are totally new to Java and Kotlin, totally new, total beginner, then pick Kotlin, right? You learn Kotlin. If new to both Java and Kotlin, right? If you are familiar with Java already, if you are familiar with Java already, then you choose. You can do projects Android in both Kotlin or Java, right? Get it? If you are new, completely new, Java, you don't know anything. I will teach Kotlin, right? So you learn Kotlin. You just do Android using Kotlin because you are a piece of paper, white paper. You don't know anything, so you just pick up Kotlin, one language enough for Android. Because Kotlin is designed specifically for Java, for Android development. So it's new, so it's good, right? You learn Kotlin. If you know both, if you are good in Java, good in Kotlin, you can learn Kotlin this semester, learn a new language. You can also use Java. So any project that you either you use Java or Kotlin is the same. It's the same. Language-wise is different, but the way you implement it and then you compile into code is the same. Both of them will run on JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Yeah, good. If you never learned Kotlin before, no one can blame you because it's a new language. Then I will teach you. I'll teach you this semester. This week, next week, and first 3 weeks we do Kotlin. After that, we get familiar, we do Android. So this is the idea. So at least I know you now. Majority know some Java, but none have known Kotlin, right? So we learn Kotlin. Java, you self-learn. If you want to use Java for Android, please self-learn. Please self-learn. Please don't give up also. Java is a good language that you should learn on your own. If you don't know anything, then just learn Kotlin. If you already know Java, you improve on your Java also. So, but you need to self-learn Java. I cannot teach Java. No time to teach Java. I teach a bit, but I'll teach mostly Kotlin. Okay, let's go to the slides. Give me a while. Give me a while. Give me a while. I have a right? Sorry, I answered call. Okay, let's start. Okay, the first slide is in Moodle Introduction to SWE401. Introduction to the subject. I just put up just now because I update some information on that slide. So I just updated. So you can go to that slide on Moodle Introduction to SWE401. So I do a quick one. This is not covered in the project. This is just introduction to the subject. Right, about me. Right, I'm open. Right, you can always call me Dr. Simon. No need Dr. Just remove this. Only this. Okay, so Chinese name also can. You want to call me Chinese name also can, or Dr. Lau or Mr. Lau, whatever. Okay, so my email, my phone number. This is Malaysia number. So if you want to add me on WhatsApp, any class rep here, can someone help to be a class rep to add us all to a WhatsApp group? Anyone wants to volunteer? Because I don't have your number, so it's easier if some of you know each other already. Then you have your number, right? You have your number, then you help me to add. Okay, Shen Ho, someone suggested you. Anyone has the numbers, most of your numbers. Even China students, right? You have Malaysian number. If you have Malaysian phone number, 01 something, 6 plus 6, then you help us to add us to a WhatsApp group. Just make it like SWE401. We call it SWE401 2022 04 group. Right? We want to differentiate the session. So just create a group, right? Maybe we discuss it after class. Someone help So help me to create this group. If you don't think you need to have another WhatsApp group, then so be it. You can personally private message me, right? So WeChat also you can private message me. Those from China, maybe you prefer WeChat, right? You can reach me at this number and then reach me at this ID. And then Moodle enrollment key already done. Settle, I enroll you already. Unless you didn't, your name is not in the database, so I couldn't add you. So you enroll yourself. The self-enrollment key is this one. And then the Microsoft Teams code, you are here in the class, so I don't think there's an issue. I also enroll you over the weekend. I enroll you into the class. So this will be our weekly Teams meeting. So always come to this same link. Same link. So don't go to anywhere. So I schedule it from 2:30. You can come into the class at 2:30 until the class will end by 6:30. Sometimes we need overtime, but within that 3 to 6. Normally our class will be between 3 to 6. And synopsis. Okay, this one I think you don't need to know. Basically, the subject is to learn Android development, basic plus some advanced, right? So after this semester, you can actually work in the industry as an Android mobile app developer. With the knowledge, you can also become an iOS developer. If you can self-learn, you can pick up the skill. I don't teach the course, the material for iOS, material for other way of developing mobile app, but the knowledge and the concept is similar. You can transfer the learning you learn in this subject to iOS, and then you can transfer it to maybe hybrid development, cross-platform development. So not an issue. So the skill that you are going to acquire from this subject is at least intermediate. Right? I guarantee you, if you follow through the course, intermediate, and you can go advanced if you want, if you pay extra effort. But if you just want to pass, right, you can be up to that intermediate level to pass. Right, learning outcomes. This one is very common in many subjects. You have the learning outcome. Right, the learning outcome cover theoretical, which is the first topic today. Right, the slides that I'm going to teach, conceptual, technical, design and feature. Right, so the architecture. We are going to see the concept, but the rest of it is more on practical. Practical is you use Android Studio. So why just now I asked you to download IntelliJ IDEA? I'll tell you later. IntelliJ IDEA is the same company that produced the Android Studio. It's called JetBrains. JetBrains, the company that produced Android Studio, and also the company that produced IDEA. So idea is for us to develop not just mobile app, but as console app, to develop other kinds of app using either Java or Kotlin. So IntelliJ IDEA is just to learn the language. It's too heavy for us to use Android Studio to learn Java or to learn Kotlin. So we don't want to use Android Studio for just the purpose of learning the language. So we use IntelliJ IDEA, right? So that is for you to pick up Kotlin and the language. So just 2-3 weeks time. After that, we don't use IntelliJ IDEA anymore. The good thing about these two tools are they are free. So you can just download from JetBrains website, IntelliJ IDEA, and Google website, Android Studio, and then you can use it. Okay, create Android-based program. So this is the practical do project. Display the basic knowledge. Okay, this is going to be accessed through a presentation. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I use an earphone now. A bit of noisy background noise. Can hear, right? Can hear? Can you?
Yes, sir. Can hear.
Good. Okay. Presentation, group presentation at the end of the semester. Right. Later, I'll give you the schedule. At the end of the semester. So this one will be at the end. So 4 different area. The theory today only. Today and some other topics also I need to tell a bit of theory, and after that we do the practical, and then the development, and finally presentation. Presentation. Okay, course outline, this one I skip because this one you can get it from the syllabus. So it's not the most outdated. Bear in mind, Android change very fast. So no way you can follow exactly the course that is designed maybe a few years ago. Right? Things have changed. So I will follow the latest one from books. I'll pick a few O'Reilly books. I pick maybe for you to enhance, and then you can read up. And then mostly I will refer to Google Developer website. Google Developer is the main reference. The documentation of the classes, the framework, everything about Android. The official one is by Google, Android Developer website. Later I give you. So just skip. Okay, this is the most important. All right, project assignment. The entire semester no exam, right? So you are expected to just do one. Actually, it's one project. You see assignment 1, 2, 3, and then report, and then presentation. Everything is the same app. Do a big app, super app, not super app but I call it super app for you. Mobile. From the previous semester we always do the same because there is a good practice to do a contact tracing app for disease tracking like COVID. Now China, another outbreak. Contact tracing is very important. In Malaysia, we are living with the virus, but we still go everywhere to scan. So in Malaysia, we call it MySejahtera. In China, I think you have different city, different area have your contact tracing mobile app also. So we are going to develop that kind of app, right? Inside there are many features, right? Super app. So inside that big project, I break it down into components, right? So that will be the assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3. So you are going to be assessed not just at the end of the semester, which is on week 15, right? Week 15, you are supposed to submit your project report. Project report is a documentation of your app, including the test results, testing and test result, and also the presentation, group presentation and demo. So I give every team around 10 to 15 minutes for presentation at the end of the semester, week 15. So you fall on the last week of either June or the first week of July, right? Around end of June or early July. So that is the last week of the semester. So this is going to be our final assessment. This is called final assessment. Right, let me put it this way. Final assessment. Right, and with project report and presentation, 50% in the end. But before the final exam, final assessment, we have 50% assessed before the end. So that 50%, I will release the marks. Before the end of the semester, I will release the mark 50%. So all of you will know whether you stand a chance to pass or not, right? If you score very high already in the assignment, right? 40 something out of 50, then almost chance to pass already, right? So 3 assessment, right? Progressive assessment 是间断性的 assessment. 间断性 meaning as you progress, you submit one assignment. Progress more, submit assignment 2. Progress furthermore, before the end of week 14, submit another assignment. So 3 assignments, 1, 2, 3. 15, 15, 20. What are they? I'll tell you later. Final assessment, 50% is the final product that you develop your app, including not just the app documentation, presentation. The app itself also includes the project source code, and then you make it into a publishable app that can publish onto Google Play. Google Play is a marketplace for Google Android. So you have to make it ready for release. So that product, the last product will be for the 50%. In between, we are going to do progressively, right? Some additional, every week we do additional feature onto the app. And then in between, I will ask you to submit 3 assignments, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, so course delivery will be Teams meeting online. This course will be fully online, but no worry, right? I'll do my best to teach as much as as good as I can. Even though not face to face, I think I can deliver, because the past three times I taught this class, we didn't face much problem. So try to pay much effort, attention to this class. If you pay your effort, I can do my best on my side. Your side, you have to learn it well. Okay, classroom, online lecture, practical. So all together will be every week 3 hours, content hours. But even other than that content hours, you are welcome to consult me through email, through WhatsApp, through Teams. Teams, I don't check it every day, the message. So it's easier for you to just email me or WhatsApp me or WeChat me. So the Teams, you can send message to Teams, but give me 1 to 3 days to reply. Teams. Okay, student lecturer discussion. This is on our individual level, private discussion. PM me, you can PM me. Self-learning also, your effort. If you needn't attend the class, you don't have to ask permission. I'm open to that. But don't be absent every week, right? So let's say out of 15 weeks, maybe 2, 3 times, 2, 3 weeks, you have some important matter you have to attend. Then you just attend, but you sign. You sign the form that I asked you to sign just now. You tell me the reason why. Is that like you apply leave? Apply leave. If you cannot attend, you apply leave, and then you self-learn, right? So videos, material are provided to you. So you don't have to keep asking me if this way I cannot come, that next way I cannot come, and so on. Unless you are not in the class almost every week, then I will come to you. I'll ask you. Without reason, I'll ask you what happens to you. Okay, this one, tentative. Okay, so we have 3 assignments. One submission is roughly within 4 weeks. So you can expect assignment 1 will be submitted on week 4. Assignment 2 roughly week 8, week 9. Assignment 3 week 14. Something like that. 一个月一个 assignment due. 足够的时间 you have enough time, sufficient time to do. Around 1 week, 1 month, you get one done. Get one assignment done. By the time we reach the last few weeks, week 14, 15, 16. 16 is a study week. I will give you the deadline for submission of report and also schedule the presentation. So now we have a big class, 54 students. So later on, depending on the number of groups, member in your team, if it is 2, then we have many groups. If it is 3, then we have less groups. So maybe our presentation can be done in 1 day. If it is more groups, then we have to do it in two different days. No final exam. This is the best. Best for you, not for also good for me. No need to do marking, but I will mark your assignment. Right? No final exam. No final exam. Okay. The attendance, right? I said this is by Malaysian higher education, so I need proof. Right? If you are absent, sign the form. Sign the online Google form that I put it on Moodle. Just sign. If you can attach a proof like your email or medical cert, MC or whatever, so that I can prove it to the school, right? So I don't want the school to keep asking me why certain student is not on the attendance, on the team's attendance, because we have class, so I will submit the team's attendance to them. Unless you are not in the class, then you sign there, I can cross-check. I also submit the attendance that you submit on the Google form. Not Google form, sorry, the what is that? Microsoft form, huh? Microsoft form. Passing rule, according to Malaysia, this is in Malaysia, right? The course is offered in Malaysia. So this program, the passing for ICT subject, IT, software, is 40 marks. Shall pass the final exam. We don't have final exam, so we don't have to worry about you pass both final exam and the assessment and the coursework. So ours is in total for the whole coursework. I don't want you to aim 40. 40 is to pass only, and that is probational. It's not actually fail. It's actually fail. It's 55. In Xiamen is 55. Right? So you aim for 55 marks. The entire 100 marks that I mentioned to you just now. Here. 50 here. And a 50 here. Total 55 in order for you to pass. Right? So please aim for 55. Even though in Malaysia, the rule, right? The education rule here is 40 for probational pass. Right? But I want you to pass totally. It's 55. Okay, this is the grade. I think this is nothing new to you. Nothing new to you, right? You want to gain 2, right? CGPA, GPA 2 is only valid, right? It will help you with your graduation. If you get probational or conditional pass, it's meaningless, right? Meaningless. You can get D to, it's fail. In Xiamen, it's fail, right? But in Malaysia, the law is 40, right? So you should actually get past 50, at least 50 or 55 and above, for you. Okay, so Microsoft Teams, email, and WeChat, WhatsApp, I mentioned just now, our communication channel. References, this is not compulsory. If you like it, you can go to look for the PDF. I'll share with you the books that I can get PDF. But none of them is really updated and can be totally depended on. So there is no one book out there, as far as I know, Android, that is up to date according to the changes in Android so fast. So you cannot get a book that can cover everything. So the best is to refer to Google Android developer website, right? Android Google developer website. Note that Android has deep learning curve. I wouldn't scare you. I don't want to scare you. Even though it's deep learning curve, not deep learning, I'm talking about deep learning curve, meaning deep, not easy to learn, right? There are hundreds of third-party library, thousands actually, not hundred, thousands of third-party library or Google Android framework library. A lot of libraries that you need to know, and then you have to import and use. So, and also there are a huge community out there doing Android, so you can always ask on Stack Overflow. So you cannot learn and use and cannot learn everything without first understanding the concept, right? So understand the concept first, later I tell you, and then practice, 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 and practice. Keep doing, right? So my advice is pick up either Java and or Kotlin, right? If you know Java already good, then pick up another language, Kotlin. If you know nothing, don't know Java, don't know Kotlin, then this semester I teach you Kotlin, right? You pick up Kotlin. So practice constantly, and then you will be able to pass, right? No issue. Note that there are lots of open source projects on GitHub. So there is no issue to learn because there are a lot of material out there I can share with you from time to time. Step by step, both you will understand handling techniques and different structures when developing. Also, we'll consider which library that you can adopt, right? So there are so many libraries, so you need to know. Lastly, define a clear app. Write your project assignment and start to develop it. You must be clear about the feature of your app. So later when I brief you on assignment, just think about what feature to do. So while doing this, you should be aware of what is happening in your code, not just copy paste. Don't copy paste from every source. The GitHub source, the sample project, hobby project, blog from some developer blog from YouTube. YouTube also some blogger, they share the code. You can how to say refer, but don't copy. Don't copy and paste. Right? You can copy, but copy with knowledge, copy with understanding. Don't copy and paste without understanding anything, right? So there are lots of references out there, so not an issue at all to learn Android. So any question on the subject? I think the most important slide is actually the assessment. Right, the assessment. The date I will tell you later, huh? When I talk about assignment. Right, this slide. Any question on the subject? Any question on the subject?
Well, lecturer, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Can we be the 3 members of the group for the final report?
Later. I know a lot of you are very kanjiong on that. Or
Okay,
maybe I
okay.
come to that first. Huh? Okay, in a while, huh? Let me settle this slide first. Any question on this? Okay, this is a frequently asked question so far, right? Whether I can be in a three member group, right? Things like that. Okay, I'll give you the answer in a while. Wait. I give you the answer in a while, short while. Okay, so done this slide. So I'll come to the assignment. Come to the assignment. Give me 5 minutes. A while. I'll start with the assignment. Just to whet your appetite. Okay, so actually before you, so many students have asked about the same question. But don't assume this subject is exactly the same as the other Android development subject that you had before in Xiamen. I'm not the same lecturer. My style and the other lecturer's style may not be the same, and the scope may not be the same. So I could be a bit more demanding on that. So it's not just 随便写一个 app 就 pass 要学到东西Okay, let me open. Where's the file? This is embedded. Okay, this one. Sorry, not this one. Sorry, share the wrong screen. Oh, this one. Okay. Right, contact tracing. So what is contact tracing? I ask you to read. So every of us know already by now, 3 years already in COVID. You know, in Singapore they call it trace together. Right? In Malaysia we call it MySejahtera. In China, I didn't do a study on China. I know there are apps also, right? So you should know the name, right? In Chinese name, right? Different state. I think different place in China you have different app. So in Australia, in UK, in New York, right? Everywhere we have this app. Not that this app is specifically very useful and something like that, but the feature is very useful for me to test you on how to do a lot of the different thing that we want to learn in Android. That's why I choose this. If you choose another app like doing e-commerce app, shopping app, not much we do. I mean, almost like always is crude, right? Database in out, database, read from database, insert into database. The kind of app is too common, right? So nothing much to learn. But here in this so-called the contact tracing app, we can learn how to use camera to scan QR code. Then we can learn how to convert QR code to text to data that we can store into database. Database, we can do it online, offline. Online, you can do it remotely. You can put it on API. You access it through a API and then to a remote database, or you can store it locally in a locally on a SQLite, right, database. So very good, right? Then we have a feature like statistics, graph, and so on in the app that you can actually capture the data from remote and display on the app, right? And so many things that you can do with a contact tracing app. So the feature that I propose you to do, right? This is not the only one, right? There are many more actually here, right? You have in recent time, we have vaccination, right? When I first offer this course to your early senior batch, we don't have vaccination, right, at that time. So now you can create vaccination certificate, vaccination status, vaccination registration on a registration appointment, even appointment, right, on the app. right? So you can do a lot of this. So check in history, check in and check in history, right? So you check into a shop, check into a place. So you can scan QR code and then the data will go into database. So you can list out the history of your check-in, right? This is feature that is common to all the app. User profile, you can do a login, logout and user profile, right, on the app. And then this user profile now can include your certificate, your vaccination status, right? Your vaccinations, what is that status? Whether you have taken first jab, second jab, and booster jab, and things like that. Health risk assessment, right? You can have like somebody which is a suspected contact, right? Close contact to someone every day, right? In Malaysia, you can see they will alert you with color, yellow, red color, then you have to answer question, answer risk assessment, health risk question, Q&A. And then disease hotspot, this one you can access data, you can fetch the data or you can access a real API and show the user on the map hotspot. Where is the cases, many cases on the Google map or a Bing map or any map, right? Latest announcement, right? Government announcement, what to know, right? What to do, what to know, right? Latest announcement. Some knowledge, right? Given by the government. Latest disease outbreak statistical info, right? How many cases, how many deaths, how many recovery, and things like that every day. You can update the user using API from the remote, right? Or you can do a fact API, right? To update the latest number of cases, latest death, number of death, number of recovery, hospitalization rate, and things like that. Health awareness reminder, right? Things to do, things to know, right? So in Malaysia, our app, there are also some advice, advice from the Ministry of Health, right? How to avoid COVID, right? And then what do you need to do and things like that, knowledge. So health reminder, and then vaccination status, registration, as I say. Then you can have a static page, right? Static page for certificate to generate a certificate there. And then COVID patient and close contact health status. This is similar to this one, health risk, right? Health risk, right? So contact. Okay, so frequently asked question, right? Maybe you have some answer to some frequently asked question and on health and disease, right? Maybe about COVID, about infectionary diseases, and so on and so forth, right? You can even have a app, right? In-app purchase, like shopping. You can buy face mask, right? Maybe I add it in. This is not compulsory. I just propose. Or like for face mask, for what is that, test kits, and so on, right? Glove, and so on. So it's up to you, your creativity. So out of all these feature, right? The one compulsory will be always this few, these three, right? And then health risk maybe, yes, you can implement and so on, right? You can add on, So this one must be there. Otherwise, there is no point of having a contact tracing app, right? If you don't have a QR code scanning, what is it for? What is the app doesn't serve the main purpose, right? The rest is an additional thing, right? You can implement. So you can choose, right, among the optional feature, right, and implement into it. Of course, if you can implement more difficult feature, the better, right? Okay, so instruction, this is important. All right, I already put it on Moodle, right? This file. So you can actually get it from Moodle, and then some of you have read the question. So let me finalize with you now. Okay, this time when I set this question, I thought that we only have maybe less than 10 students. At that time, your name is not registered yet. I thought I have very few students. So if very few students, then the best is two in a team, right? So if too many in a team, then I don't have many teams, right? But now I see that I have 54 students. 54 is a lot, right? My ideal is 2. Ideal lah. If you really want to insist, you want to be in 2, I welcome that. 我不会阻止你2个人一个队，明白吗？ 如果你觉得你2个人更好，some of you don't like to work in too many people because maybe you are not together, very hard to communicate, very hard for you to coordinate your members. The more the more chaotic, right? 越多人越难, the more people, the harder for you to coordinate. Then you at least you need to have 2. That is the minimum. 2, right? I wouldn't stop you to have 2. You want to be 2 in 2, okay, good, go ahead. But if you want to do 3, okay also. Special condition, this one I have to change. Okay, so you can work in 3 in a team. Right? I can, simple as that, can. You can work with 3 in a team. With 3 in a team. I don't stop you also. But if you really are so good, you don't want to be so many people in a team, you want to contribute more to the project alone, and not alone, cannot be alone, must be team. I want teamwork. So you can have 3 or 2. In other words, either 3 or 2. I think I just make it simple. You can work in with 2 or 3 in a team. Okay or not? Simple, right? So no more argument, no more ambiguity. 没有模糊地带. Everyone knows, understand, right? What is 2 or 3? It's either 2 or 3, right? And no one will stop you whether you want to be 2 or 3. And then the link for you to register is this link. So please just go and register. Right? Later on, when I will give you a short break, right? You can, every 1 hour, I give you a short break. You can start to discuss with your team member already if they are here in the team, in the class, right? Sometimes you cannot find them after class, right? You don't know where are they. Some of you in China, some of you in Malaysia, you don't stay together, you don't stay in the campus. Some of you don't know each other. So during this time, right, when the students are all in the class, right, so that almost all of you are here, full house, almost full house, 51. 54 got 51 attended. So you just talk to each other and then you class start to form team, right? Give yourself a catchy name so that I can recognize you as a name, right? Like you can say I'm Liverpool fan. Let's say your team is Liverpool fan, whatever, right? So you can name yourself whatever name you like. Previous sem, there are students who call them stat never flow. Stat overflow becomes stat never flow team. All right, something like that. So leader, appoint one of the 3, one of the 2 as a leader. Give me the name, give me the ID, the student, the second, right? And the third. The third is not compulsory. If you leave it blank, it's okay. You can still submit. First 1 and 2 are compulsory, required, and number 3 is not required. So I can leave it blank, right? So either 2 or 3, as simple as that. So at the end of the period, I encourage you to do as soon as possible so that I know the grouping, then we can start doing project. Any question? Let me stop for a while. Any question? Okay, you can join cross nation, China, Malaysia, whatever country, doesn't matter. You can cross. Even though you are not in the same location, same locality now, you can be a team member, right? Don't limit them. All right, clear, right? Clear, right? Okay, so settle the team member issue. Okay, develop an app, right? As I mentioned just now, right? The key feature are these 5, right? If your app, you don't want to do any extra work, you just want to keep it to the minimum, right? You just achieve this 5. But I don't think this is enough, right? You have 1 semester, 3 member in a group, right? 2 or 3. You should do more, right? So it's not complete if your app is just like that. This is a basic, right? And then some additional one. You can suggest whatever you like. Like just now the shopping, I forgot to put in here. In-app shopping, right? You can add, like you can shop for face mask. You can shop for test kit, COVID test kit, the RT antigen kit, right? Self test, self test. and so on online from pharmacy. So there will be pharmacy listed. You can sell just simulated. No need to be real. All these, most of them are simulated. No need to be really you go and shop. You really buy something from a website. No need, right? I don't ask you to force you to implement the real, but you at least have to fake it. Fake it 就是做一个假的 fake the API, fake the server side. You can fake the server side, but if you want to implement the server side, why not, right? If you really can do, you can connect your app to a real server, and then that server side you have a system. You develop a system, right? So you have a database there. Good. All right. That one I'll give you higher marks if you can implement the server side as well. But there are a lot of mock or fake API out there. You can fake the API, meaning you make a call to the API, return some result, then you use that result to display on your app, right? So you make as if it is really working, but actually it's not. It's not the real system. But you can do a real system if you can, right? But I don't expect you to connect to a real commercial server. So if you want to connect to Amazon or connect to some shopping website to buy glove, to buy self-test kit from there, to Shopee.com, Lazada.com, Alibaba.com, I'll be happy if you can do, right? But I don't expect you to do that, right? Implement the minimal or server side. This one minimal. Right, as I say, database to store the mobile user check-in history. This one you should have a database to store mobile history. You can fake it also. You can fake it as long as the data can go there, and then you can read it from there. Right, CRUD. You can perform CRUD, CRUD. Right, create, read, update, delete onto whatever you host it on the server side. Whether you host it yourself or you use third party or you use cloud. Right, as long as you can transfer data in between your app and the server side, right? This is a bare minimum. So database to store the check-in history, database to store the user profile, login, logout, right? User profile info, register info, and the login info, right? So those are the minimum, right? The rest of it, like shopping, like announcement. Let's say you really want to do a push announcement. Push meaning you have a server side that can update, push a notification announcement to the app. By all means, you can do it, right? But I don't enforce it as the compulsory. If you can do, actually you can use Firebase to do, right? If you can enforce, you can implement that, I'm happy, right? So definitely your marks will be better in that. But minimum, I tell you the minimum. Optional, right? Nice to have server-side feature, right? A lot, a lot. Right, if you can do a real server, this is just a mock-up, right? I think I have to write clearly. Mock-up, I should put mock-up here. I'll give you this latest file, mock-up. This is a mock-up. But if you can implement real server, meaning you have a user interface on the server side, a web application using PHP, using C#, using Java, using maybe Ruby on Rails, using Python, using Django, Python Django, or any language, you can implement a server-side system. Then good, right? Why not? You implement it, and then use your mobile app as the client to access the server side. So yeah, free to choose any implementation on the server side, right? As I mentioned just now, Kotlin is not for Android only. Kotlin can be used for server side also. All right, don't be surprised. Kotlin can be used for server side. If you learn Kotlin, you don't only learn for Android, you learn also for server side. Or you can use Kotlin for web, right? So Java, Kotlin, PHP, C#, Node.js, JavaScript, Python, right? This one I cannot teach you in this subject, no time, but you should be able to pick up from other subject. If you have pick up, then you can make use of your skill to do that. A database server, right? Maybe you are running an Oracle on the server side, MySQL, SQL Server, Postgres, Firestore, Firestore from Firebase, and so on and so forth. And then this project emphasizes mainly on the acquisition of knowledge and skill in developing client side. Let me emphasize, ultimately, if you want to pass, right, you just need to make sure your app can work on the client side. Server side is not compulsory. I cannot force you to do something that I never teach you in this subject, right? So this is the server side. But if you can do it, then why not, right? So it's not compulsory for you to pass. You want to get 55 and above, right? I wouldn't penalize you based on you not doing server side, right? If you never implement any server side system, but you just mock it or fact the API, you can still pass. Huh? But if you want to get the score among the excellent, the top, so I think almost all of you can do the basic, right? Client side. Then at the end of the day, the differentiation will be on the server side, right? So you should actually also consider, since you are in a group already, you should be able to also do more, right? Just think about it, starting from today. Okay, so component 1, design, your assignment, design. This one I'll tell you in more detail later. This one I'll just leave it, so I'll tell you more in component 1, right? First, because this is the one that you have to submit the first. Okay, can you any question? Do you have any question? 有问题吗 ？Assignment 现在基本上已经是清楚了，是吗？3个人、2个人都可以，好。然后 feature 是这一些啊 ，the basic feature。Right, in order for you to pass, make sure they work, and then additional feature you can add as you want. All right, into your app. Once you are familiar with the Android, you should be able to do what you want. More, you can add more feature, and then database wise, server side, not compulsory, but at least you need to mock, right? Mock API. You need to mock up the API. So the API is not a real system, but something that can feed data back to your client side. Right? There are a lot of that kind of API out there. I can give you a few later when I teach that. And then the optional one is if you can develop a server side system or serverless system. You can also do serverless nowadays, right? Cloud-based, serverless or server side web, right? So either serverless or web. Or serverless. You can use Firebase. So Firebase is serverless, right? Use JSON. You can use JSON file. So this one is not necessarily must be a database. You can have Firestore. Firestore is JSON. JSON serverless. Or anything else that you know. Previous semester there are students who do something not here, not included here, right? They have serverless way to do. All right, if you have no question, all right, the first assignment that we aim to finish, let me share another document. Okay, good, thank you. Hao Jing, okay, thank you. Thank you for the reply, feedback. Okay, good. Now come to the my weekly plan, but it's not cast in the stone, right? Actually, I have planned what to teach every week, right? But not cast in the stone, meaning I haven't 100% fixed I must teach that topic on that day, because I don't know the progress, so I have to adjust. Okay, one is a few important day. So on the 3rd week, I want to give you a lab test. Lab test. 3rd week meaning the Monday, another Monday, but not graded. Not graded. Bad news is test, but not graded. Right? If you know test, then I don't know how good you are in Kotlin. So first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll do a bit of Kotlin, and then you learn out OOP. This one will be OOP. I'll test you on OOP, a basic OOP, object-oriented programming in Kotlin, lab test. But not graded, not part of the 100 marks. So just remember we have a lab test on the 3rd week, Monday. And then assignment 1, this one. Because it's one assignment per month, right? I told you. 1 assignment per month. So I put it as the last day of the month, April. That assignment 1 later, I tell you. Last day of the month. This one I'll put it on Moodle later. Just that I haven't fixed it. That's why I let you know first. 你可以记下来是4月11号、4月30号最后一天就是 1 month from now 了So Friday, submit assignment 1. Submit to Moodle. I create the link for you to submit. Assignment 2, another month, right? Assignment 2 is here. 差不多6月6号 Monday, right? Assignment 2 submission. So it's about another 1 month. A bit longer than 1 month. So 6月6号 不是5月30号 6月6号 right? So this is the date. I give you until Monday. And then assignment 3. This one is shorter now. So if you see that this is a bit longer time, right? 6th of June. Then this one is shorter now because our week 14 will end, right? On the, okay, this one I can give you a bit longer. This is Monday, right? Monday, Monday 27, 27, 28, 29, 30, 7月1号 1st of July, 1st of July, Friday, Friday. This one is a Friday. Assignment 3. And then last will be week 14, week 15 already, project report and presentation. This one will schedule. The 4th of July is the Monday. But if we cannot finish the presentation in Monday, right, one afternoon, then we have to extend, right? Maybe another day, Tuesday, right? So we need 2 sessions. But now it depends on the number of groups, right? If now 3 in a group, maybe less group already. Project presentation report. This one I cannot fix the date because I don't know, right? How many? But I can fix. Actually, it's 4th of July, Monday. Right, so important date. Because this one knows final exam. So a calling lab test, 11th of April. Assignment 1, 30号, 30th of April. Assignment 2, 6th of June, 6月6号. Assignment 3, 7月1号, 1个月1个月1个月哈。然后最后 the last, 4th of July, Monday class, we have presentation and submission of report. So you cannot wait for your report until very late, Maybe okay, this one is not report, this is presentation. Sorry. Report I can give you until the end of the week. Or maybe if need extension, this is not exam, sorry, this is study week. And then week 17, week 18 is actually the exam. Right, so exam is the last 2 weeks for the semester, study week, right? So we can have our project report, submission, either and everything, report and app, completed, fully completed app. Either on the same week, which is Friday, 4号, 8 号, 8th of July. So you have an idea already, Either that, if you need extension at that time, then we discuss. So I will just give you this first, the date. I just copy this to you. Copy to right. So this copy it down, and copy it to your document, any file, right? Calling lab test 11, and then 30th, 6th of June, 1st of July, 4th of July, and 8th of July. Whole series of deadline submission. And then after that, no more. This semester, no, this subject, no final. So after you complete on 8th of July, you are free. Bye-bye. You can fly, right? You can fly away, right? No more assessment, right? Okay, so any question? If no question, let's take a short rest, 5 minutes break. And after that, come back, I'll teach about the subject, right? So introduction to mobile app development, right? The slides is already on Moodle. So let's take a 5-minute break. Any question on the assignment first, on the deadline first? The submission will be all on Moodle. I'll create the link for assignment 1, 2, 3 and presentation, the report for you to submit the report. Any question? No question, then take a short break. Huh? Let's take a short break. Thank you. All right, let's continue. Can hear, right? Can hear or not? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can hear, right?
Yeah, can hear.
Okay. Right. Just now I have entered the group, WhatsApp group, WeChat group. So any of you who are aided, please reply. Right, response. Right, we have the group ready. So ready to go. So the latest assignment file I have just sent you just now, I uploaded to Moodle. You can get it from here, from there. So let's continue with the class. Only for today, we have more theory. After that, mostly practical. This is only the first class, so relax. So I wouldn't burden you with too much of theory, only those that are necessary for you to carry on with development. Because these are all taught already if you have taken another Android subject previously, right? So in this very brief class, brief slides, actually not brief, 36 slides, I'm going to just give you some idea about mobile app development. Maybe you are not thought about that earlier, right? So you just straight away jump into Android. So before you know about Android, know a bit of big picture, right? So if we talk about mobile app development, mobile is actually quite difficult to define nowadays, right? Many of us, you have many mobile devices, not just your smartphone. You have your tablets, you have your laptop, you have your even music player, right? I think nowadays less people are using iPod, right? But previously, a lot of people are using iPod. So nowadays, your phone is your iPod. And then MP4 player, previously internet TV, nowadays also popular TV, right? TV is a mobile device. So when you learn Android development, you are actually learning how to develop Android app, not just for mobile phone, but also for tablet, for even for what is that? Hybrid, those kind of laptop that is not running Windows, running Android, and then internet TV, right? So, but our project is only based on mobile smart device, mobile phone, smartphone. We are not going to develop anything for internet TV, for tablet. But if you want to use the skill for tablet, for internet TV, by all means, you can go for that. Right? Later, when you use the Android SDK in Android Studio, the same SDK can be used for internet TV. So these are the mobile vendors, right? A lot, right? So not just this. China is one of the biggest player nowadays, compared other than what is that? Korea, other than US, Apple, right? So other than that, most of us buy China phone, Oppo, Xiaomi, Vivo, Huawei, right? So previously it was Korean, it was Japanese, Sony, right? Early days. And then US is Apple, right? US doesn't manufacture phone a lot other than Apple is manufactured in Asia, right? But it's just the branding is US. So mobile operating system, there are many actually, not just Android, not just iOS. But the two of the most popular one that we know, right? We know Huawei also got Harmony OS. I didn't try it before, Harmony OS. And from what I know is more or less like Android, right? So Huawei phone also mostly run Android, can run Android. So Android is one of the most widely used mobile operating system, right? It's the most used, right, actually, worldwide, right? So other than that, iOS is the main competitor. The rest you can forget about them for now, right? The rest of it you can forget. And BlackBerry is out, no more. BlackBerry no more, right? It's no more in the market, right? So you can forget about it. Windows also forget about it, right? Not many people are using Windows Phone. So when we develop mobile app, one of the main thing we always compare is whether you want to develop a native app or you want to do a mobile web app, right? Native app means the app can be installed in a mobile phone, and then you can use it by accessing it through an icon that is placed on the mobile home screen, right? That is a native app. You need installation. You need a run what is that executable. You need a so-called binary file. We call it APK file, package file, for you to install the app. Web app is you don't need installation. You can directly run the app from the browser, mobile browser, right? So if you want to deliver a service to a customer, right, you have a choice, whether you go native or you go web, right? So in Facebook case, Facebook, if you want to access facebook.com from mobile, you can go directly to facebook.com on your mobile browser. You don't need to install Facebook app, right? You can access Facebook using browser. For example, Chrome, Firebase, or Opera, or whatever mobile browser that you have installed. That is the website, mobile web. And then if you want to access it natively, you must go to Google Play, download Facebook app, right? And then install on your phone, right? So those are the two options. So mobile native app is what we target to do in this semester. So mobile web app is not in the scope of this subject. So our purpose is to develop native app using either Java or Kotlin. As I mentioned earlier, we are not going to cover iPhone, iPad. Right? iPhone, iPad is using iOS. So we are going to develop an app that is going to be installed, meaning it's native, must be installed. And then as far as installation is concerned, there are two types of app on the mobile phone. The one that is pre-installed by the vendor. Vendor means Huawei, Vivo, Oppo. So when you buy a phone, even though it's completely new, when you get it, you always have address book, contact list, contact app, calendar, calculator, some games, and then the default call. You want to make a call, the app, the phone always come with a call app, right? Pre-installed by Huawei, by Samsung, by Vivo, by Oppo, right? That is pre-installed app. You can also download additional app from Google Play, free or with a small fee, right? So there are two types of app. One is custom app, one is vendor install app, right? So mobile web app, on the other hand, don't need to install anything. You need to install a mobile browser, but you don't need to install additional app to access the app, right? You can just access a website. It's the same like you access a website on PC or laptop, right? So the page is done in HTML, JavaScript, CSS. So that is a mobile web app. So the two app, native app and web app, you compare. If you compare them, right? I don't want to go into detail. I think most of you know this, right? So mobile web app, what is good about mobile web app is you don't need to install. So it doesn't take up the space. You can access it when you want to use it, right? That is mobile web app. And mobile native app, what is good about mobile native app is when you install a mobile native app, the app can access native feature faster, right? Faster because it's installed. So the app, the binary code can actually access the mobile hardware, right? Hardware devices like camera better than a mobile web app. But in recent years, a lot of mobile web app can also access native feature. So things are starting to blur between native and web, right? In recent years, if you do enough survey, you find out that the trend is trying to make mobile web app to become native, right? Meaning like web app that you develop can be easily converted to native app, looks like a native app, such as we call it progressive web app. If you want to know more, right, you can actually learn how to do progressive web app, PWA. It's a kind of web app. It's a web app. You use web technology like JavaScript, like HTML, not HTML, like you can use the so-called in React, for example. If you heard about React Native, React, and then you can write React code, Facebook React code, or you can write AngularJS JavaScript, and then you can convert that Angular app or React app to become a native app by just do additional script, and then you can compile, and then become an app that can install onto the home screen with an icon. So there is a trend. People are trying to make installation. Make app more lightweight, meaning not so heavy in terms of development and also installation. We can make a simpler way to do app, to install an app onto the phone, right? Because progressive web app will function as if it is a native app, even though you don't develop a native app, right? Mobile web app, the disadvantage mobile web app is you don't have an icon on the user screen, right? When you don't have an icon, you cannot occupy, you cannot be how to say, you don't have a real estate, right? Because mobile screen is an estate. Estate is like 地产，地产啊，你卖地产，你要有在市中心要有地。The more nearer you are to the central of the city, and then you place a building there, the higher is the price. True or not? So everyone wants to occupy some land in the center of a city, right? A metropolitan city. So similar to mobile screen, right? Mobile screen for every user is like an estate. If you can have someone that place your app icon onto the home screen, you are occupying a piece of the land on the home screen. So when people will always remember you because they see you every day, they'll tap on your icon and access your app. Imagine if you are just a web app, people don't remember you. People have to memorize your website address. Then they have to go to the web browser to type the website address, only they can access. Or they bookmark it, even their bookmark it is not, the effect is not as effective as you put your logo directly on the estate of the small screen that the user is every day actually access. So that is one thing that is good about native app. So every big companies, they always want to have at least a native version of the app, right? Even though you can access Facebook through browser, but Facebook still have an app, right? So that is the main difference. Right? Interface wise, not much of difference nowadays to me, right? Because more and more they are similar nowadays. Web become more and more advanced. So whatever you can do on the native interface, you can do on a mobile browser also, right? So you can have a Facebook app that look almost the same on the browser and also on the native app. But the key difference is the strength and the weakness. The strength of a mobile web app is no installation, right? You can have one piece of code that no need to compile, but you can run it across all the platform. You can run it on Android, on iOS with one development. You can tackle different OS. That is mobile web app. As long as the person has a browser that support web, right? Support JavaScript, support HTML. Native app is different. Native app, if you want to tackle one OS, you have to develop one version for Android. And then if you want to go to iOS, Apple market, you have to develop another version for Apple. So you have to double your development effort, development cost. So that is the weakness of a native app. The weakness meaning something that you need to pay more effort to achieve. But in the contrary, the opposite, native app is faster, right? Theoretically or practically, native app is always faster, right? Performance-wise, because you install it onto the phone. So the app, the script, the so-called the code is already binary code that is installed into the phone hardware already, right? Whereas mobile web app have to go through the layer of a mobile browser. So rendering, the rendering of the mobile web app interface is through the browser. So browser is a container. You need a container in between the operating system and the web app itself, right? So it's not direct, right? So it's in between the two. There's a layer of web browser. So that what web browser engine cannot be as fast as if you run the app directly, right? The binary code directly into the app, the mobile phone itself, right? So the difference, the performance of a mobile native app is definitely faster, better than in a web browser, especially the UI rendering. And Native app also can access the native feature. For example, on the sensor of the phone, camera of the phone, GPS of the phone, all these whatever Bluetooth connection, Wi-Fi connection, and so on the phone, better than a mobile web app. Right, so that is the difference. Now, if you look at the market, right, market share, the red line indicates Android, and then the black line indicates iOS, and the other line, the other company, you cannot see the blue line at the bottom near to 0. You can see on the chart near to 0%. There's another line actually. There's the total sum of all the other OS. So the market, almost 80% is from Android worldwide. This is worldwide. It's a quite new. This data is quite new, September 2020. And then the rest of it, after the 80%, another 20% is roughly iOS. So it's quite stable across the globe over time, over many years. It has been there for quite a long time. Mind you, these are two giant, Google, Android Google, and also iOS Apple, both US, right? But Apple make it closed platform, proprietary. So only Apple lock the platform, right? Not any vendor can actually install iOS onto their phone, right? Google go the open way, open the platform. Any vendor, for example, Huawei, for example, Vivo, Oppo, whatever country, if you want to produce an Android phone, you can always use the code base of Android OS, right, onto your hardware. So it's open, right? Anyone can actually use it. So which mobile platform to go, right? The market, you can see that if you follow this so-called study, right? So most people will recommend Android or iOS, right? So this is no surprise because the market is 80% Android, 20% iOS. The rest is less than 1%, right? Total up. Okay, so not less than 1% so bad, but around 2%, 3%, less than that. Okay, so you can remember always this is the market share of global market. Android phone, if you ask your friend in the class, this is quite new, 2018, 2019, or 2020. Android is around 70 until near to 80%. iOS about 20%. Can I make a quick survey from you or not? Anyone is using iOS? Apple phone, iPhone. We have 50 students, around 50 students here in the class. You raise your hand if you are using iPhone. We said that iPhone 20%, right? 28%就是大概5个人1个人，5个人1个人，5个学生有1个是 iPhone user, or roughly so. Okay, let me see. 7 so far I see 7. 差不多啊，应该会有10个学生 iPhone， 因为有50个，我们有整班有50多个人，52个，52个学生，我不要算我啦，I use Android。Only 7 Okay, so we are not our statistic a bit lower, even more Android, but less iPhone, right? So out of 52, assuming you are not shy to show, then we have 52 user, and out of 52 we have 7 iPhone. So if you do a calculation, 52个里面有7个除12。13% are actually iPhone user. 80% are actually almost 90% are actually Android user. This is global market. Malaysia market almost the same, right? Almost near to 80%. This is Malaysia, well, in general. China, 中国, any of you are from China? China 应该也是有, China also, right? China student here, right? We have China student, right? China student, your market in China, 80%, more than 80% Android, right? No surprise because you have Oppo, you have Vivo, you have Xiaomi, right? So many manufacturers there. for Android phone, right? So iOS, Apple, but also a lot of fan, iOS fan, Apple fan, right? So 20%, around 20%, 80% Android in China. So if you want to develop mobile app, right, whether Android, whether iOS, there are some issues that you need to know. Okay, one thing is you develop mobile app, native app compared to develop mobile web app is different. One thing is the different form factor, we call it form factor. Right, because on a mobile device, you don't know the size, exact size of your user, right? So many of us are using different font. Our size, number of inches, right? Diagonal, we count by diagonal. 7.9 inch meaning diagonally from one corner to another corner is 7.9 inch. You have all sorts of sizes, mobile, smartphone, and all sorts of sizes for tablets. When you develop app, you develop on your platform, you test. But when you deliver, the user that install your app, you don't know the size, right? No way for you to predict, right? You cannot predict how many of them are using certain inches and so on. So you have to actually compile your app into, build your app into different sizes. So Android has solved this problem for you. You can develop one code base, and then when you upload it to Google Play, you upload bundle. You don't upload APK. APK is the finished product of before people install on the certain font. You compile into APK. When you test it, you always compile into APK and test it on a specific font of specific size. But when you deliver it through the publication platform and Google Play, you don't know your user, so many different sizes. So Google Play will take care of that for you. You just need to compile, build a bundle, bundle, bundle of the app, and upload it to Google Play. Google Play will detect, actually when people install Google Play, they download the app from Google Play. Google Play will detect your screen size and so on, your specification. And then you actually bundle the right variant, we call it variant of the app, and deliver to the user. So nowadays, that is the way to go, right? So you have to take care of sizes. This is one. And history of versioning is another, right? So the latest one is until Android 12 already. Android 12. So if you look at the API level, it's API 31. The column on the rightmost is the API level, means the SDK version, the software kit that you use to compile, to write and compile the app, right? When you want to compile, you want to build the app, you need a SDK. That SDK have a version. That version is called API level 1, 2, 3 until 31. 3E. The latest one 32 already, but I don't want to talk about 32 lah. It's going to roll out 32. So it's so fast, right? Just last semester we talked about 31 is the latest. 31 is Android 12. When we talk about version is a major change from cupcake to donut to eclair to froyo, gingerbread, blah, 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 until Android 10, Android 11. They run out of name, right? Basically, they run out. You can see it's all the cookie name, cookie. Cupcake is C, donut is D, eclair is E, froyo is F, right? So Android 10 is actually Q. Android 11 is R. Android R, they call it Android R. So if you go to SDK later, you can see in the Android Studio, Android Q, Android R, but no name, no cookie name, right? Run out already. So in the future, I think they will not use a cookie name anymore. They will just call it Android 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like that. So in particular version of Android, like for example, one of the popular one is Android 4, ice cream sandwich. Right, it was one of the major release, Android ice cream, which was in 2011, 10 years ago, right? And when I first do all this Android development, ice cream sandwich, Android 4 in 2011. If you look at the chart, there are actually two versions, two API level, 14, 15, right? So why API level has more number? The number is higher, 31. Why the Android version is just 12? Because in one Android version, there are more than one API level. In some of the release, there are more than one time. in an Android version, you have released the SDK, the API level for more than one. That's why you have a higher number for API level, right? So there is so when you develop your app, you also need to know how many users, mostly they are running which version of OS, Android OS, right? So mind you, most of the user will actually buy new phone over time. So when Android have a new release, right, people will upgrade to the new version. Of course, some of them upgrade faster, some of them upgrade slower. So when you target your user, you must assume some of the users are still using older version of OS. They may not be in Android 11, Android 10. They may be in Android 8, still in Android 8 Oreo, still in Android 7. As far as I know, most users are, I think, is at least Android 7 and Android 8 already, right? Very few people are still using Android phone that is less than Android 7, meaning older than Android 7, older than 5 years, more than 5 years. Android 7 was in 2016, 2016年. Today is 2022 March. So 5 to 6 years already. So around these 5 to 6 years is the latest 5 to 6 years that most of the phone are already upgraded to Android 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? So when you compile your app, you build your app, you have to know at least 80-90% of Android users should be running, their phone should be running Android version 7 and above. So later you can set your minimum target API level and the target one. Target one is the latest one, current one, Android, for example, Android 12. And the minimum you can cover backward compatible because you have users which are using phone that is older. So you basically can target up to Android 7, Android 6, Android 5, and so on and so forth. Right? You understand? Huh? So you have to differentiate API level and the Android version. Right? This is another diagram to show that. Okay. Not just Android, even iOS also changed very fast. Now I don't know what is the version already. I think it should be iOS 15 already. 15, 16 already. So very fast, right? So this is one of the challenge of developing mobile app native, because you want to install the app into the OS. So you must know which OS you target so that the feature supported by the OS, you can make use of it. Like Android 12, you go to Google, you go to YouTube, you can search Android 12. There are new feature from Android 12, API level 31. Right, new feature. So things that you cannot do previously, you can do now on the new phone. When you want to sell your app to user, right? Of course, you want to sell something new, something trendy, something interesting. That's why you want to target the newer one. But you also want to support those phones that cannot run your app if they are not in the latest version, right? So you have to think in these two ways, right? Versioning. Okay, so another problem of mobile development is fragmentation, right? So you want to do Android, you have to learn Android. You want to do iOS, you have to learn iOS. You want to do Windows, you have to do Windows. You have to do, if you want to do, last time got BlackBerry, you have to learn how to develop BlackBerry app. Very hard. So it's one problem now. Not only version, not only the device size, also the fragmentation of platform. Right? You want to learn iOS, you have to do iOS, you have to learn Objective-C, you have to learn Swift. Now it's no more Objective-C, it's called Swift, SWIFT. Android, you learn Java, and now Kotlin. Java may not be the best language for Android anymore. Maybe some of you want to use Kotlin already, so Java, Kotlin. So iOS, Swift, right? If you want to do .NET, right? Windows still got Windows Phone, then you have to learn .NET. Right, so I think I skipped all this. Right, it's different languages, you see. In iOS, you have to write Swift. It's an object-oriented programming. In Windows, you write Visual Basic, you write C#. But last but not the least, in Android, you learn Google. You want to develop in Android, you write Java, you write Kotlin, then you write XML. Right, so other unique issue, for example, battery. Phone, mobile app, people are very sensitive on battery. battery usage because it's always on. It's not like laptop PC. You don't always on 24 hours most of the time, but your phone always on, right? So you don't want the app to consume too much of power and things like that. User don't want, right? If your app consume too much of battery, then they'll reject it. They will actually uninstall your app. So these are things, real life issue that you have to consider, right? What constitutes a mature mobile development platform? If you want to choose Google, Android, you want to choose iOS, or you want to choose any platform, what is the consideration? First, the SDK must be there, must be stable. When they release a new SDK, new Google API level, make sure there's no bug, right? So you don't want the app that you develop using the SDK always have bug, right? Mature. Healthy developer community, you want to look for help. You can go to Stack Overflow, you can go to forum, you can get people to help you, right? So there's another one. Effective means for app distribution. You want to develop an app, but you don't want the app to be not able to be sent out, distributed to your target user. So Google and also Apple have a very healthy ecosystem for you to distribute app. Google Play, you can also distribute to Apple Store, right? Apple is Apple Store, Google is Google Play. So continuous support from vendor, right? So if you develop an app for Vivo, for example, to Oppo phone, Oppo vendor, Oppo phone vendor like Vivo, they always update their user, the OS, right? If you buy a Vivo phone, if your phone can support a higher level, newer operating system, when they have a new release, they'll ask you whether you want to update your OS or not. So that is very important because when people update their OS, they only can they run the latest app that you develop, right? Carefully chosen target audience. You also very important to know your target market. For example, US, iOS maybe more, Apple user maybe more. Malaysia, China, most people use Android. So you might want to target Android. So present and future change, I think I will skip this one, right? This is just something that you know already, mobile social networking. And now I didn't put it here, is metaverse, right? Mobile app has gone to the realm of metaverse, right? It's not just virtual reality or augmented reality, but it's even more than that, metaverse. And then you talk about mobile app. You also talk about now blockchain, right? You can run Web 3.0 blockchain app on mobile browser device, right? Blockchain, Web 3.0, and so on. NFT, NFT, and so on. So these are the trend, the coming trend, the new trend. So recent trend. Okay, so just now I say, right, when you develop mobile app, one of the worry is fragmentation, right? So many different platforms, so many different language you need to learn. So the trend now is, there is another group of developers that advocate, they are actually pushing for hybrid development. Hybrid means cross-platform. You can develop one single code and then compile, run it on different platform, right? So hybrid platform compared to native, right? Hybrid platform is getting better and better. So many of them can in the future can replace maybe native development. But definitely if you want to go for performance, 100% the most high performance, you should go for native because native is fully controlled by the Google and also fully controlled by Apple, right? So the code that you follow Google to develop, the code definitely will be the most efficient, right, to run on the Android platform. Whereas hybrid is done by third party. Hybrid platform could be, for example, React Native. I don't know whether you heard about React Native. Right? Flutter is by Google also. It's a hybrid platform, cross-platform by Google itself, right? Flutter. So these are the example, two of the popular one. There are many more, a lot, right? Hybrid. Hybrid means you don't develop in native code. You develop in a third-party language. For example, React Native is a Facebook version of so-called the JavaScript. Right? Facebook version is not the pure JavaScript, but Facebook version of JavaScript. You use that to develop your app. And then you use the React Native tool to compile, build it into a native code that can run natively on a mobile phone. Right, there is React Native. Flutter is by Google. Flutter is also another language called Dart, D-A-R-T, Dart. Right, it's not native, but it's a hybrid, it's a cross-platform. So when you use Flutter, you use React Native, your code can be compiled into native for Android or native for Apple. So you can achieve the target of writing once, run anyway, voila. So the purpose of doing hybrid or cross-platform is to save time, save effort, but you compromise a little bit on the performance, right? So compared to native, definitely if you do cross-platform, there'll be a bit of performance penalty, but it is easier to do. To many people, if you know, it's easier to do hybrid, right? You can do one code and target many platforms. Right, so multi-platform mobile framework got a lot. There are a lot. I just list a few, right? Flutter, React Native, Xamarin. If you heard about Xamarin, Xamarin is by Microsoft. You can use .NET C# to develop Xamarin using Xamarin and compile into native. Just that you call it in C#. And then you have something like Ionic, which is not so popular anymore, Cordova, or we call it PhoneGap, previously called PhoneGap many years ago. But now it's slowly people don't use this. People use native, React Native, use Flutter more. And then even Kotlin, okay, Kotlin is a language. Remember, Kotlin is not a platform. Kotlin is a language only. It's a purely programming language. It can be used for multi-platform. So it can be used for server. It can be used for web. It can be used for Android. And it can even be used for multi-platform mobile development. Meaning you can use Kotlin to develop iOS app. Right? That's why I teach you Kotlin. Java cannot. Java cannot be used for multi-platform. Java only for Android. If you learn Kotlin, you don't want to use Android SDK to compile into mobile app. You can use Kotlin multi-platform SDK to compile it into iOS native. But it's not covered in this subject. Right? So if you learn the language Kotlin, you can actually apply Kotlin into developing multi-platform mobile. Right? There's SDK already for that. But how good, how stable it is, I don't know. Right? But you can compile it into a iOS mobile app. Right? So that is using Kotlin. So there are a lot more other similar types of platform. Many of them are not getting any traction, are not popular. Right? Not many people apply. So this is Kotlin multi-platform, right? The SDK is there already. So some of you, if you learn Kotlin already, you want to test, you want to develop your app into iOS, you can actually compile into iOS, right? So share common code between iOS and Android. But this is not our target to learn in this subject now. I don't target iOS, but you can pick up the skill and then you develop for iOS. You try to use Kotlin, you can use Kotlin, right? So these are the summary of the comparison between native, web on the two spectrum, two end. One is fully native, one is fully web, and in between, right? We can mix, right? Some technology on the web. For example, React. React is a language for web, right? Dart, even look at the Dart Flutter. So they actually originally do it on the browser. You can test it on a browser, and after that you can compile it into native. So the hybrid is normally in that way. So you write some code, you can test it on a browser. It's actually a browser app, a web app. But when you compile, when you build it, you can build it into a native platform, right? So that you want your target. Okay, so that summarizes mobile development in general. Any question? Any question? So in summary, if you target mobile native, 80% market Android, 20% iOS. The choice is very clear. You either target 100%. You want to target 100%, you learn two languages. You learn how to develop on Android, whether Java or Kotlin. You learn how to develop on iOS natively, use Swift. The performance-wise is best because they are the language recommended by the platform owner, right? They can go native, very much native. So if you want to target 100%, learn 2 language. But the other way of target the 100%, the iOS market and also the Android market is you have to go hybrid, cross-platform, right? You learn one language, React, or you learn one language, Dart, you do the Flutter, and then you compile into native Android and native iOS. As far as I know, the performance is quite okay. Because they are native, you can install the app after you develop, right? So you can test out if you want. You can go that direction. You learn one language and then you target delivery. You can distribute the app to 2 different platforms. That is the mobile platform, multi-platform mobile, right? Okay, that's the brief introduction on the mobile app in general. Any question on this? If not, then I'll go to the next slide. Let me quickly finish this one and then we can have a maybe early break. Early break today for the first day. Okay, this one is talking about Android in specific, introduction to Android. But I won't go very detailed because I know some of you learned before in the other subject that you take. Right, it's almost the same. Just want to remind you on some important point. Right, this one, Android is it's not just a OS. A lot of people mistake Android as OS. It's not OS. Android is a mobile software stack. It's a stack. Stack meaning you have a client side, you have a high level user side app, and then you have also operating system. Operating system is at the bottom, right? So you have a full stack of software, layer by layer. All right. So the mobile app and then middleware OS, right? And Android is also an ecosystem where you have Google Play Marketplace, you have software tool, Android Studio, Android Software Development Kit, SDK. So it covers everything, right? Android is like the tool for you to develop, the tool for you to sell, right? Google Play, and then the tool for you to run the app on operating system, right? So everything. I think this one you know already, free to license, right? If you want to sell a company, manufacture Android phone, you can. Actually, you can, right? You can become another Vivo, another Oppo, another Samsung, right? It's open source Apache license. Let me just quickly go through now. So I think nothing new, open, free. There's something. The Android runs on Linux kernel. Linux kernel, remember? Android is actually Linux. Google didn't do anything new. Google actually adopted Linux into the kernel and then built on top of that the operating system. Right, so Android ecosystem already mentioned to you. These are some features that Android can run now. Can be touch, gesture, virtual keyboard, support for Bluetooth. These are very common. All Android phones have that. And then home screen, you can see on the home screen icon, right? I call this real estate, 地产. If your app can appear on the home screen of many of the users, I think you are one of the most popular people already. Your app has occupied a very precious, very expensive real estate of the people's home screen, right? So most of the time people don't put their app that they don't use on the home screen, right? If it is on the home screen, it means that that app is popular, is actually commonly used to the user. That is called a launcher icon. The icon appear there is called a launcher icon. That's why you need to not only create the app, you also need to know how to create a very attractive launcher icon. These are example of app. Android Software Development Kit SDK. I always say SDK. If you have Android Studio but no SDK, you also cannot develop mobile app, right? You must actually download SDK to your computer, right? Don't download too many. Choose the platform that you want to target. Like now, for me, I use 31. Previously, I used 29, 30, and now 31. I upgrade to 31. 31 is already stable. 31 is Android 12. So our project in the coming this semester, you can use 30, 29, Don't use the very old SDK lah. To me, 29 can, 30 can, 31. But don't go to too high 32 because it's still beta. Don't use something that is not stable yet. 31 is already stable. SDK 31. At SDK level, and API level 31. So when you download SDK, you download everything. Development tool like debugger, monitor, editor, including Android Studio, is also part of the software development kit. Libraries, you download the framework library for all the software library import that you want to import into your project. Virtual device emulator, you also include emulator. You also download the, you also include documentation, but not downloaded, but you can access it through the website, developers.android.com, and some sample project. So this is the entire full SDK. Right, example of Android Studio, we are going to explore it later. No need, we will try it out ourselves. Google Play Store, right, which is the Google Play marketplace, for you to sell the app, distribute the app. So this is the software stack I mentioned, Android software stack. Stack meaning you have high level, low level, middleware, right? So Android have 5 layers. In the deep down is actually the OS. OS is running on Linux kernel. It's a Linux program. And then a bit upper than the Linux kernel is a driver. We call it driver in Windows. It's actually the hardware abstraction layer, meaning software that runs the hardware. Hardware in your mobile phone includes, like, for example, camera, for example, sensor, for example, GPS, everything, right? So for example, microphone, for example, speaker, right? All this. So hardware abstraction layer, right? Your screen, rendering the image, the graphic on the screen, rendering hardware. And then you have some a bit upper, higher than that is Android runtime. Android runtime is the OS that runs your app. Your app must run in a operating system. So that is the runtime that actually runs your app, your mobile app. And then you have some native C++, C libraries that actually work with the lower layer hardware, like C++. So if you want to directly access some hardware, you can write C++ code, mix it up with Java, mix it up with Kotlin, and then you can access some hardware. And then higher above it is actually the Java API framework. When I say Java, doesn't mean not Kotlin. Java means everything, whether it's Kotlin code or Java code, right? So this is a library code, library layer. The most important layer that your app will actually access, Java API. Even though we call it Java API, it also includes Kotlin, right? So Java Kotlin API framework. And then above it will be your app and other system app. Example of system app includes, for example, contact, right? Phone contact, calendar, for example, call, right? Make a call. Your app must have an app that make a call. And then recorder, all those apps that come together with the vendor. The vendor actually pre-install system app. And then you have user app that you download from Google Play. Right, the 5 layer in detail. Right, system app as I mentioned, compared to third-party app. System app also include email, Google email and so on. SMS app, calendar app. Browser is also another system app. Java API framework, a lot of classes. All right, software class that you are going to use to develop your Android app. Okay, just now I said API level. Let me drink some water. Right, so API level, just now I say we always target some target SDK. For us now, if we develop a new project, is 31. Maximum is always the same as the target, right? We try not to defer them. So maximum to go is the current one, 31, the latest one. And then minimum, we normally set the one that we want to go lower, right? Like that just now Android 7 is 24. If you want to target Android 7, and then now it's Android 12. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So your API level is 24, the minimum. So you set the minimum, right? So this is how you actually do the setting, right, for your Android app, right? So you can do it in the code later, right? API level. This is what we mean by API level. API level defines the version of the software SDK that you actually use to build your app. Android runtime, as I mentioned just now, Java code, and also the Kotlin code. When you compile, they actually are compiled into bytecode. If you know Java, Java is a platform neutral language. You can run Java on any operating system as long as the operating system have the runtime installed, right? If you run a pure Java program, not Android, pure Java program, you need to install JVM, Java Virtual Machine, right? As long as the computer have a Java virtual machine, whether it's Linux, whether it's Mac, whether it's Windows, you can run Java. Java will just run in the container. That container is called Java Virtual Machine, right? Similarly for Android phone, all the Android phone actually come with Android runtime ART, right? ART. So as long as the phone is already pre-installed with Android runtime, then you can run Android app that you write in Java or you write in Kotlin. They'll be compiled into DEX bytecode, right? Bytecode. Bytecode is not binary code in binary 1001. Bytecode is an intermediate form of binary code, right? It's not the low-level binary code, but it's called bytecode, right? Intermediate bytecode that can be run into a runtime. The runtime is a container. So C++ library, hardware abstraction layer, I already mentioned just now. The driver, kernel, the OS. These are the version of Android. The latest one, right, is up to Android 31. Yeah, Android API level 31, which is Android 12. Android 12. Right, this is the progression of the version of the Android over years, right? Quite new. This one up to year January 2022, which is just this is March, 2 months ago, right? Just 2 months ago. Right now we are in Android 11. Android 12 actually, right? The blue color is Android 11, still Android 11, right? So this statistics means that the blue color will get in more and more. There are more and more people going to upgrade their phone to the latest Android version 11, 10, 11, 12, right? And then less and less are using the older version of Android like Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nugget, and so on, Oreo, and so on. You can see the progression, right? The older version will get less and less market share, and then the newer version will get more and more market share. Right, feature of Android. This one I will just go through. I wouldn't read into this, right? Because every Android phone have this, right? Web browser, messaging, media support, and so on and so forth, right? So you can do hotspot tethering. Tethering means hotspot, right? Any Android phone can be a hotspot, right? And then voice, video calling, multi-touch screen, multitasking application, and so on. Right, Android Jetpack, right, is a new one, So when you develop Android later, you can see Android X, the word X. When we say Android X, is actually Android Jetpack. It's a new framework library, right, that contain many libraries under it. So just remember this Jetpack. A lot of the code that we want to use, right, we import from Jetpack, the latest one, new one, right, Android Jetpack. Right, if you look at Jetpack, it covers a wide range of different library for data binding, for navigation, for paging, for room. Room is database, and then for UI is App Compact is UI. The foundation library App Compact. Android KTX. If you use all this UI stuff, Android KTX, and then behavior wise, you have saw new library. All these are new libraries, right? Or the updated version of the old Android library. So this is called Android X or Android Jetpack. So app architecture design is an important consideration for ensuring your app are robust, right? So Android architecture components are a collection of libraries that help us in the following. So this Android Jetpack, why is it there? Is that support something called Android app architecture. But I wouldn't talk more about this until we go to that topic, right? So an example of Android app architecture is Room database. Previously, we call it SQLite. In the early days when you develop Android database, local database, you always directly program the code to access SQLite. So Android now create a layer on top of SQLite. So it abstract out the implementation of SQLite in a middleware with under Jetpack. We call it room. So when you see the word room, it's actually talking about SQLite, right? So what it means is now Android make it layering. So your code will be layered into components such as, these are called architectural components, such as called view model, live data, repository, room. So what are they? Basically, they are just additional library that Android make in order for us to organize our code better and more robust. Meaning when you want to change, your app doesn't break if you change some code. Make it more robust, easier to maintain. Jetpack. Another new feature I'm not going to cover is Jetpack. Under Jetpack, there's something called Jetpack Compose. That is to develop the UI using object-oriented way, like you do it like, for example, this language looks a bit similar to Flutter. When you do Flutter, the code is also like that. When you construct the mobile UI, that UI is object-oriented. And then, how to say, you compose. Compose means you build a UI based on composition of multiple components inside the code, right? But we are not going to do this in Jetpack Compose. It's very new. So we are going to go the traditional way of using XML. If you want to do Jetpack Compose, you can also pick it up and you can use it for your project. But there is another steep learning curve that you have to go through. So app development, okay, I'll skip this part. The rest of it is all about some theory already, activity, services, broadcast receiver, content provider, widget, right? All these are different Android components that we normally encounter in the programming, in coding, right? Android app. But we are not going to go into detail until we come to the topic. So that summarizes Android. So most important, the takeaway from this lecture, from this brief introduction to Android is the software layer. Right? Remember this. Android is not a OS. Android is a suite of software, high-level software, low-level software, middleware. And among this, as a developer, the most important is the first two layers. You don't have to care about Linux. You don't have to care about Android runtime. What you really care is what Java API framework library that you need to use. And then you use it, you import it into your development so that you can create your app. That is the most important. Layer 1, layer 2. Right? So you need to learn Java API framework. That is the most important Android software. And then another thing you need to take away is the API level. Right, as I mentioned just now, every version of Android has the corresponding API level. So you need to know what API level you are targeting. Right, when you develop your app, you need to know the API level you are targeting. And also the API level that you want to support, the minimum level. Right, SDK version means API level. It's equivalent to API level, SDK version. So any question on Android? Introduction to Android. Introduction to Android. Sorry, I close it. Any question on that slide just now? On that introduction to Android?
No, sir. Crystal clear.
Yes. Sorry? Sorry, say again.
Very clear, sir.
Very clear, okay, good. Okay, next, let's have a 5 minutes break, and after that, I'll teach you a bit of Kotlin, introduction to Kotlin. Next week, the full 3 hours will be Kotlin. So next week I'll prepare you for the lab test lah. Next week we'll do Kotlin. Lab test is simple lah. So today I'm going to introduce you to Kotlin, right? A bit of Kotlin programming lah. So let's have a 5 minutes break, and then the last half an hour we'll do a Kotlin.
Sir, give 10-minute break can ah?
Can 10-minute break. I know very tiring, right? 10 minutes now, 10 minutes. Okay. So come back in 10 minutes, and then we'll start a bit of Kotlin. Thank you. Okay, while you are away, please install IntelliJ IDEA. IntelliJ IDEA. So when you come back, we can run it already. IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, thank you. All right, let's continue. I don't want to hold you back too late, huh? Okay, just now I shared with you some link for Kotlin references. The Atomic Kotlin is quite a good book. I have the PDF in the Google Drive. You download from there, or the web version in Chinese. Not in Chinese, in English, but Chinese. Some China website, China people put it online. So Kotlin in Atomic Kotlin, right? Is one book good, and then Kotlin in Action also good. You can find O'Reilly in O'Reilly, but I got the PDF. Right, I shared with you the PDF. Let me check. Well, let me see. Can you access that file folder or not? The books, Kotlin in Action PDF, and then Atomic Kotlin, right? And then some others like Learning Kotlin and so on. So Kotlin have a lot of references online too, also, right? But you just need to adopt one of them. Okay, when you learn a language, because it's a new language, so you have to have a direction, right? Prioritize. You cannot learn everything, right? So normally when we first learn language, we learn the basic, which is the syntax. No Java, Kotlin is simple because Kotlin is just a translation of Java. Everything you have in Java, the language, Kotlin have more, but everything Java has, Kotlin also has. But I don't have time to teach Java. That's why I hope you use a little bit of your knowledge on Java to learn Kotlin if you have Java. If you don't have Java, just learn purely new language Kotlin syntax and data type. So this is very common. You have to know whether integer, long, double, float, string, character, right? Are they supported or not? So learn the data type. What I mean by data type is a primitive data type, right? I don't have time to hold your hand to learn every single thing. So when I give you a W3 School website, right? Just now W3 School. So you can use that website to learn the basic. So I hope by next week when you come back, you have some basic already. Using the W3 School, you should have some basic on the syntax, at least the data type also. And then we want to learn the control structure. When you learn a programming language, we also learn control structure. If else, for example, in Kotlin we have if else. In Kotlin we have while. No, don't have. For loop. We seldom use while in Kotlin. For loop. How to do for loop in Kotlin, right? If else. And then Kotlin, we have something in for loop, we have repeat, something called repeat. You can repeat. So you can loop. And then in Kotlin also, we have something called when, right? When is switch case in Java, right? In Kotlin, there is no switch case. In Kotlin, it's called when, switch case in Java, right? These are called control structure. Your language structure control. You want to control your language, your code will go to path 1 or path 2 or path 3 or repeat. And then one more is function. Very important. I have only a few more minutes left before 6. So I will just touch on function. How to do a function in Kotlin. Function is a control structure also. So you organize your code into module. So your call, you make a call to the function. So you execute a few lines of code and then you come back, right? Function. So it's very powerful in Kotlin. Kotlin, bear in mind, is a functional language plus object-oriented. Right? Kotlin is both, right? It's not just object-oriented. Java is object-oriented. Kotlin is object-oriented as well. But Java is not functional. Kotlin is a functional programming. And you talk about, if you know functional programming enough, you have something called lambda. In Kotlin, we have something called lambda function. You can write your code, your function very short. You treat every function as an object. That is lambda function. The concept of treating every function as an object. You can pass the function around, right? Like assign a function, assign a function like just like a variable. You assign to a variable, right? So function. So Kotlin, want to learn Kotlin well, you also need to learn the OOP. OP concepts, right? OP concepts include what is a class, what is an object, what is abstract class, right? Abstract class, what is interface, these few topics. And then you have something called overloading, function overloading, constructor overloading, right? Overloading. So same function, name, but different parameter, right? So one function name, you can have 2 parameter, no parameter, 1 parameter, 3 parameters. So that is called overloading, right? OOP concept. And then in Kotlin also, every language, you also need to learn data structure, right? Data structure, the primitive one will be the integer and so on, basic. But data structure also includes collection. In Kotlin, we call it collection. That is, for example, array, list, set, map, right? Map is like dictionary in Python. If you learn Python before, map, right? Array, list, set, map, or maybe stack, things like that. You want to construct your data structure, how to create a collection of data. And then here also got generic. So generic, okay, never mind. These are called data structure. So you have to look into this 4 area. So I expect you no time to teach you one by one. You learn the syntax yourself. Today you go back 1 week. Just pick up some example and try out the syntax and the basic data type, like integer and so on. And then operators, right? For example, plus, minus, the arithmetic operator, comparison operator, assignment operator, right? All this plus, minus, equal, right? And then ampersand, percent, then all these things, right? So how to do the operation of different variable you want to perform operation onto them, right? All this. And then control structure, if else I wouldn't teach because it's quite simple. For loop also quite simple, right? Repeat is a new one. Maybe with time we'll try out. When, maybe I'll cover this one. And function. And then OP. I'll focus more on OP, right? Within the next week. Okay, let's start a new project on using IntelliJ IDEA. IntelliJ IDEA. This one, this software. Open up. Right? Create a new project, Kotlin project. Do you have IntelliJ IDEA installed? Right? If you have, right, just follow me. New project. Right? Create a new project. Can you see my screen or not? IntelliJ IDEA. Can, right? Can, okay. So let's call it Kotlin function. I just quickly do function today. Function. Kotlin function. Save it somewhere in your hard disk, right? Create a Kotlin folder. This coming few days, few weeks, we are going to do a big of project on Kotlin. That's why you need a folder to keep all the projects. So you create a folder for you called Kotlin function. And then the file will be dumped into that folder, Kotlin function. So just next, you go to next. Okay, so if you don't have the JDK, what is JDK? Java Development Kit, right? Developer Kit. Java Development Kit is those that actually contain all the Java runtime inside, right? So if you don't have, you can go to for Java programmer, you know, right? Your Java must run in a Java runtime because Java is not a binary program. Java you compile into a binary bytecode. Just now I call it bytecode, bytecode. So you need a runtime as a container to run your program. So currently the version latest is 17, JDK 17. For me, I have installed a few versions. So I am still using 11, 15, 16, but it doesn't really matter, right? Most of these your Kotlin normal program can run, right? So I choose 16, for example, JDK. If you don't have, then your Kotlin cannot run. Right? So you must go to Oracle. You go to Google, download JDK 16 or download JDK, then you can get the website, Oracle website to download. Right? So just choose it. Assuming you have, you follow me. Okay, next. Right? And then this JVM version, you follow. If it is like 16, you choose 16. Java virtual machine, right? But doesn't really matter. Let's say I choose 11 also can work, right? This JUnit doesn't, you don't have to care because you are not writing unit testing code for your program. So just leave it, right? So we choose a console program. We start run. You choose Kotlin here, the language. You can use this tool to do Java program also, right? But we are doing Kotlin here. Kotlin, you choose Kotlin. The project name, right? The project folder. Console, right? We choose a console program. We do a console Kotlin program. Next, right? Choose the runtime, right? And then just finish. So you create a project for you, empty project. So you can see that in this. Oh, I didn't share. Sorry. It's gone. Okay, here. Here. You can see, right? So when you create a new project, you can see a new hello world function. Hello world program. This is a valid console program in Kotlin. Right? So every Kotlin program, console program, you must have a main function, right? That serves as the entry point of your program, right? So you can print anything to the console by calling either print. Print is printing without the new line character. If you just print, you print on the same line. If you want to print and create a new line, then print line, right? So Kotlin syntax, call every function fun. Fun means happy function. So Kotlin JetBrains. Okay, who created Kotlin? JetBrains. JetBrains is a company. Company that created Kotlin is JetBrains. Right, JetBrains. So JetBrains created this language Kotlin, and they call fun function. Every function must start with a keyword fun, right? And then main function name, and then a set of argument. Right? So argument, remember, argument, the variable of the argument start. Kotlin language start with the variable first, and then anything after the colon is the type. This is a type. In Java, the same program in Java is this in this format. This is a Java format. Java is called public. Is Java, you need to define public. Is a function. This main program in Java program console program is called static program void. Void is a return type, and then it's called main, right? And then this one in Java the type is in front, right? So the Java type is Java array is called string array. This is array type. This is a type, right? String. So this one is the array type, right? Array, the type of a string. Here Java is called string, and then array is bracket, square bracket, and then the variable. This is a variable, and then that like that. Right. So this is a Java function, right? The prototype, Java function prototype, right? The function name, function argument. This is in Java. The type is in front. Like when you write JavaScript, any language like C#, Java, C++, the type is in front. You define in front, and then the variable is at the back. Kotlin is the other way around. Colon here, right? Java, the return type you put it in front of the function name. You void. There is no return, right? No value return, right? But in Kotlin, the return type is at the back. You can choose to not putting it, right? Because Kotlin will always try to infer the program, whether there's a return type or not. If there's no return type, you just print there's no return anything. You don't return anything, then it doesn't have a return type, right? It knows. But if you return 1, right? Then you ask you to define the return type, which is at the back of the bracket. right? It's also starting with a colon. So this is a return type because this is an integer, right? So you have to define return integer. Right, so this is the return type. How you define return type? If it is integer, then here you must put integer, right? If the program cannot infer from the code, then you have to explicitly define. If the program can infer, you don't need to say. For example, there is nothing to return, then you don't have to put a return type. It knows it is actually void, right? But you can put a void, but it's not void. In Kotlin, there is no void. Void is actually unit. Unit. In Kotlin, void is equals to unit. Type is called unit. It's void. Actually, you can define it explicitly, or you can do it without the return. But the compiler will know. Right? There is the beauty of Kotlin. So the Kotlin code is normally shorter compared to the Java code, corresponding Java code. This is a main program. A main program. If you run this, you want to run, you can run here using the IntelliJ IDEA. You just run. You can see the result on the build here. Down there, the build. You can see the result printed hello world. Right? You can see hello world here. Hello world. You see? You print on the console. This is a console, right? Your console program. Right? If you don't want the hassle of installing IntelliJ IDEA to learn Kotlin, you can also use Kotlin Playground. It's provided by Kotlin official language website. Kotlin lang language lang. So let me go to that website. This is the official website. Those Hokkien people, call Hokkien lang, right? Lang. Remember that lang. Kotlin lang, Kotlin language, right? .org, right? So a modern language programming language that makes developer happier. Hopefully so, right? For you, happier, right? So get started, right? If you go to get started, they have tutorial, they have an example online, they have also a playground, right? So what is a playground? Playground is an online simulator. If you Google search playground, right, you can see Kotlin Playground. You can test your code online. So if you don't want to use IntelliJ IDEA, you just want to write, this is my program. Okay, you want to just write a simple program, right? I want to print line, right? Hello world, right? Without colon, don't put semicolon. You can put semicolon, no error, but Kotlin programmer normally don't put. You put also, it's okay actually, right? Run. There's a hello world, printed. Right, so you can do a quick one tutorial using Playground, or you want to use IntelliJ IDEA to run your program. Can also. So this is the Playground. So this is an official website for Kotlin. So if people ask you what is the version of Kotlin you're learning, is actually 1.6. Android Kotlin 1.6. Language version, Kotlin 1.6 now, the latest one. Okay, so Kotlin Playground, right? You can test program here. So main program, you see just now the parameter, right? Main program actually is not compulsory. Just now we have this, right? The type is actually array, type of string, right? So this is not compulsory. So if you just want a quick one, you don't have to write this, also can. Just that your console cannot tag in parameter. When you run your program, it's just the program name, but no parameter. You cannot pass parameter into your program, right? You know console program. So if you don't put the array argument, then you cannot tag string. So, but to test is quite easy, right? Okay, so let's do a bit of function, a bit of function. I will still switch to IntelliJ IDEA. I will use IntelliJ IDEA because I think as a programmer, we should use a tool of rather than just a playground. Okay, so let me go to the IntelliJ IDEA. Where is my IntelliJ IDEA? on this one. Intelligent idea. Okay, so now we can define a function. In Kotlin, we want to write function a lot because it's a functional programming. So even in object-oriented programming, right, we have methods inside an class. We have property, attribute, which are variables, and also the function, the behavior of the what we want to define. Okay, let's see some example of how to define a function. Maybe. Okay, let me open up this one. It's blocking my view. Wait, Okay, wait. Look for some example. Yeah. Okay, let's say we want to write just a function to add two numbers. Right, in conventional way, Kotlin got many ways to write a function. So conventional way, according to the syntax, you want to add two numbers. You want to pass in two numbers A and B. Let's say A and B are all integer. Right, this is a type. How you define the type? Right? So add. You want to return the result. The result is also integer, right? So you return A plus B. So you don't have to define the return type. Yes, you have to define A plus B. So here must be integer. Return the integer. Right? Then it's a valid function. As simple as this. Right? So when you want to call the function, add return type is integer. A plus B. Okay, so you want to call the function, very simple. Add for it 1 and 2. Right? So you want to print the result out. Right? Add 1 and 2. So it should be 3, right? So let's run. The result will be printed here. 3. This is a method 1. One way to write a method, a function in Kotlin. Use fun. Method 1. Let me remove this one. Right? So the function value will be returned from add. Right? The two numbers. I call it plus. Plus is better. Okay, so another way of doing it is without the body. This is a body, right? So actually Kotlin can be written in this way. Because of plus I already use, I use plus 1. A, integer, B, integer, right, equals to A plus B. Right? So this one, when you put equal, it's same like the body return. Let me say again, in Kotlin, we want to make the code shorter. So equal, in this case, you assign the value of this to the result, right, of plus. So equal is the same as return. So in this case, you don't need a body of curly bracket. So this is a body. You can put the body also can, doesn't matter. But you don't need. So you can just add two numbers and the value will be assigned to the plus. You don't even need the return type. You can put the return type also, is valid. You can do like that. Or you do it without return type. So the return type will be inferred from the value of the A plus B. A is integer, B is integer. So the program knows A plus B is an integer. So let's try this one, plus 1, right? So let's try the same print, but with plus 1. Right? It should give you the same result. Right? 3. Same result. Same result. Right? So another one, another way of writing. So let me remove this one. Another way, method 2. Method 3. Oh, powerful, Okay, so Kotlin can also do it in lambda. That's why I said lambda, right? So it can be a variable. Any function can be a variable plus 2. Right? So you can define a lambda for this plus 2. Right? Lambda is like this connotation using arrow. The one on the left is the input. The one on the right is the output. Right? So you can have A, B, A plus B, right? So why there is an error here, red color? Because it doesn't know the type of A and B, right? How can it add if it doesn't know the type? It cannot be string. So what you need to do is just to define the type. Right? You can do this is called lambda. Lambda. Right? Lambda is very simple. Function body is on the right. Whatever you want to do. Lambda is used for small function, small, only one statement, one line. If it is multiple line, your function needs to do multiple line, multiple statement. You cannot use lambda. Lambda is only one if you want to do an atomic, this is atom, very small. Atom operation, A plus B. And then you define the input on the left, and then the body on the right. So automatically the value here, when they compute, will return the value, right? You may not even need to define the return type, right? You can define the return type. No need. Okay, no need. So this one, this is a function. This is a function, right? With the fun keyword, right? But this is also a function. I use a variable. Function can be a variable, right? So this become a variable that will carry out this operation and return the value of this. So let us just call this +2 here, and that's it. +2, right? So this is functional programming. Very powerful, functional programming. So I run it. So you can see the same result. Right? Same result. So in Kotlin, you can do a function like that. A variable that actually will be carry out a lambda expression. So this is a function as well. So you can use this just as a function. So I give you this code, and then I give you this file, right? 6 o'clock already. I don't want to do overtime to get first class. So the rest of it, I leave it to you. I leave it to you to do a self-study on W3 School. Right? Next week we can do a lot of more interesting stuff. With that, I can give you a lot more example. But this is only first class. I don't want to stress you so much. And then you just do a bit of effort on your side. This week no homework. Only do Kotlin tutorial. Do Kotlin tutorial. So I give you the file, the code. Wait for me for a while before I release you for dinner. Release you for dinner. Hey, the code cannot send like that. Okay, never mind. I give you the code. The project. Just now, the Kotlin project. Wait. Before we end. Okay, I send you now. The zip file. Just now the code. The code I'm writing here. The 3 types of function you can write in Kotlin. Very important. Very basic, but if you know, you bring you go a long way. Now when you do Kotlin in Java, in Android, later you can write your code for your Kotlin function. Right. So this weekend, this coming week, just go through this tutorial, W3 School. I don't ask you to do more. If you are more hardworking, then you can go to Kotlin example. Let me share the screen before we end. Okay, you can go to Kotlin language website, Kotlin language. You go to look for example, right? There is one section that you try many example code. Right, I want you to just go through the simplest one is the control flow and the introduction. Right, the function is here, right? Just now we did the function. So there is online playground. You can run the code directly and you see the result. Directly you run. And these are the way you write function, right? So write function and then the result. Right? So hello world, function, variables. Now safety, you leave it first. Now safety, I teach. Class, you leave it. Next week, I teach. Generic, leave it. These are all more advanced topic, inheritance and so on. You can go through the example here, simple one, and control flow. Control flow, when, loops, ranges, equality check, this is operator, equal, conditional expression, if else, right? If and else. This is a way you can write if and else in Kotlin. Very powerful. So just try this example as well. You have time. So if you are more hardworking this week. Okay, any question? Already, sorry, I overshoot. Okay. So if you have no question, form your team, right? I allow you 2 or 3 in a group. Form your team and let me know you register on the Google spreadsheet, and then I can receive that spreadsheet, and then I use that to determine your group, right? So you just submit your group member. Don't do not Google spreadsheet. The one is Microsoft Microsoft form. You use that. Okay. So any question? Is it good enough for the first day?
Very
Good
good,
enough,
sir. I love you.
Quite happy. One person, just the leader. No need to double send. Don't waste my space. One group one. Submit one group one. Submit one group once. Don't have to repeat. Okay, everything we do is efficient. Me, I'm very efficient. I don't want to do extra job one. So everything is just enough. Do it enough. Okay. So see you next Monday. Right. See you next Monday. Right. So take care. Anything you can just WhatsApp on the WhatsApp group. Right. So thank you and all the best. See you next week. Next Monday. Bye bye. Take care. Right. I'll end the meeting. I'll end the meeting. You can submit again. I take the latest one. I will take the latest submission. You can submit wrongly and then you want to change group member, change lah. Submit again. There's a sequence. The date. I follow the time, the timestamp. I take the latest one. No problem. Right. See you next week.
So the assignment one will be individual or
Sorry?
teams? The assignment one will be individual or team.
Assignment one. Do you want to so soon? You want to do? You just read through lah. It's doing design mockup using Figma. If you want to learn quickly, you can pick up Figma or Adobe XD or just in mind. Maybe I show you one screen quickly. Mockup mobile. Assignment one, very simple. You want to design your contact tracing app, right? I show you one screen before you leave. Wow, so kanchiong. First class already want to do that. Okay, actually I plan like next week only talk about Just like this one. Right. The target of your submission assignment one is the one on the right, prototype or mock-up, either middle or on the right lah. But if you can go more detailed, prototype would be better. Wireframe is on the left, right? But normally people do wireframe first before they do mock-up. So you can do both, right? For assignment one, pick up a software, yes. Pick up a software to do, right? Figma is one you can use.
All right, thank you, sir.
Sir, so for this one, everyone need to submit or just one group submit one only?
One group lah, it's a group project.
Thank you, sir.
One group work together to produce one version of it and submit. You can later you can export it into PDF or JPEG or PNG and then submit. Or you can submit the Figma file I can open Right, I can show you the student, my previous student, they share with me their Figma. Figma is a good software, free. You can use it web version or you can download the desktop version. I have many Figma projects here with student submission. But I don't want you to submit just like that. Submit me the PDF or the JPEG. Why is so slow? So it'll take a while because many files there. And example project by your friend, SWE401 Okay, open one for you to see. COVID helper example. Right, this is your friend's submission. Chiang Yao Chong, your senior. Right, this is what they do. Right, for example, I click on this. Right, I haven't come to that so next week for now I just tell you, you can use this tool to draw. The rendering next time my browser a bit hang already. Okay, wait. I think you go and check out. Right at the end of the day when you draw, you appear here. But you take time to render Wow, very heavy this rendering. Okay, never mind so you can see the small scale one this one. Example, I don't know why today my browser become like that. Okay, never mind so you go to Figma, you check. You can register an account and work from there. Or you want to use just in mind, you want to use Adobe. Adobe is not free. You have to download. You can buy somewhere or you can crack it. And then Adobe XD also another good tool to do mobile prototyping. Okay. So any more questions?
One more question, sir.
Thank you. Okay, see you.
Will there be any face-to-face class if the uni reopen?
Oh, for me, I'm not there. So no, but okay, right? You want to see me face to face, maybe we can arrange privately but not officially as a class because they put it fully online for this subject, for my subject. If that doesn't fit you, maybe you can take another course, another program, another course to replace this one.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So see you next week. See you next Monday. Take care. Okay, bye bye.